color guards will advance the colors. And salute. Two. The POW, MIA, and missing comrade flags will now be posted by the color guard. A POW, MIA empty chair is placed at all official meetings of the American Legion as a physical symbol of the thousands of American POW, MIAs still unaccounted for from all the wars and conflicts involving the United States of America. This is a reminder for all of us to spare no effort to secure the release of any American prisoner from captivity, the repatriation of the remains of those who died bravely in defense of liberty, and a full accounting of those missing. Let us rededicate ourselves to this vital endeavor. Uncover. Please join us in a moment of silence in memory of our missing comrades. The chaplain will now offer a prayer.
O Lord, at the beginning of this meeting, we come to you for help and light. Grant that we may hallow these days to your grace and service, and find in you peace, wisdom, and strength. Grant that we may serve you in spirit and in truth, and build our work on the good foundation of justice and charity. Be with us in all our meetings, be at our side in our committees, and give us the grace to think what is right and be our guide and counselor as we work for the good of our comrades everywhere, for our communities, for our state, and this beloved land. We ask all of this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Please join in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Cover. We will now recite the preamble of the Constitution of the American Legion. For God and country, we associate ourselves together for the following purposes: to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, to maintain law and order, to foster and perpetuate 100% Americanism, to preserve the memories and incidents of our association in all wars, to inculcate a sense of individual obligation to the community, state, and nation, to combat the hypocrisy of both classes and masses, to make right the master of might, to promote peace and goodwill on earth, to safeguard and transmit to posterity the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy, to consecrate and sanctify our comradeship by our devotion to mutual helpfulness. Adjutant, do we have a quorum? Yes, we do. 48. I now declare the Marion Post 298, Department of Iowa, regularly convened. Sergeant of Arms, do we have any guests, visitors, or new members?
Commander, we have two veterans who are transferring into our post, both Marines, Rob Steinbeck and Peter Kirby. If you gentlemen would please stand, and the commander would like to introduce you to the rest of the post.
Come on up, gentlemen. Pete, Robert Damascus. Nice to meet you. You can stand right over here for me, Ben. Can't read your name. Robert Damascus. Thank you. We'll get a picture here for our newsletter. Thank you. Any other new members or first-time members here? All right, perfect. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Peter Purvey, just moved here to Marion a couple of months ago. Came up from the American Legion in Arizona. And everybody asked me why I'm coming this way in the winter time. But I'm a Marine, what do you expect, right? Well, I got 24 years with the American Legion. Basically had 2 tours in Vietnam. Did some embassy duty, 8 years total Marine Corps, and about it.
Well, we welcome you to our post. Rob, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I moved here from Indiana. My post, I was living down in Tiffin, so I was down in Coralville. Moved up here to Cedar Rapids, 12 years in the Marine Corps. Got about 35 years in with the Legion. I've done quite a bit. Back in Indiana, I was district commander a couple of years, adjutant for like 10 years. Worked on the national I'm not going to say anymore because then I'm just going to get volunteered.
I like it. Welcome, Rob.
All right, there we go.
Thank you.
Love it.
There you go.
All right. The minutes of our meetings are published in the newsletter. Are there any correction or amendments to the published minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand as published. Let's roll right into committee reports. Just so everybody knows, we have a lot of stuff to get through tonight, so we're going to try to get through at a pretty fast pace today. So we'll start with membership.
Okay, George is not here tonight. Overall, we've got 950, we're at 92%. Of that, 34 are new. That's more than half of the whole district. 151 are Puffles, 750 are new, 14 are headquarters transfers, and a total of 950. The renewals are included in the headquarters. These 2 transfers, that's interesting. Now they won't count on their membership until next year when they renew with us.
All right, anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Post activities entertainment, Mike Cleveland.
Commander, second vice checking account is at $8,172. We've had 3 successful fish fries thus far. We've served 1,122 people in 6 hours. Which gives an average of about 187 people per hour. Great. It's been a great 3 weeks. We still have 2 more to go, March 24th and March 31st. We're skipping next week because of St. Patty's Day. We're going to have some other stuff going on up here. This Sunday, the 19th, we have omelet breakfast from 8 to 11. Next month, April 16th, omelet breakfast, 8 to 11. April 21st, tenderloin fry, 5 to 7. Also, I want to give a shout out to some of the auxiliary and some of the Legionnaires that came up and they really cleaned the kitchen and cabinets and refrigerators and freezers up. So they've helped us out a lot. And they've also, they've labeled all the cabinets. So you can see where everything is.
Should be.
So it's been a great month. So.
Thank you, Mike. Great job on those fish fries. Really excited to see that progress in that. And I'll echo as well, the kitchen looks fantastic, well organized, which is going to be a big help for future events that we have here. Moving into finance officer, Mike Barron is back.
Give me 10 minutes.
You'll be up here eventually.
Okay, Commander, it's March 1st. Checking account was $20,591.13. Finances for February, income was $6,313.86. Expenses, $10,046.92, for a difference of $3,733 in the negative. Major income, second vice, $1,898. All rental, $1,400. Post auxiliary, $1,000. Donations, $1,100. Major expenses, insurance, $2,917.75. State liquor license, $1,665.63. Snow removal, $1,000. Home Depot, $856. That is an expense only because we had donations from the auxiliary, SAL, and the mushroom finances. So it was, we treated it as an expense because the money was donated into our post and then we handed it back out, paid for it. Vets Club, $800, membership, $735. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Building and grounds, Gary?
For the month of February, our income was $1,930. We had 0 expenses last month. We have a balance, 1 March, $21,259.
Thank you, sir. Vets Club? Bernie?
Commander. Our Vets Club has $13,435 in checking, $4,483 in savings. Remember, the event's coming up Tuesday. We're going to have burger night. 17th is St. Pat's in the bar, so there'll be a little bit of a contest on who has the best costume for St. Patrick's Day. And we're going to have live music Saturday night. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernie. Service Officer, Leonard Olson?
I've been doing my monthly visiting. Myron Olson stopped at the bar, called the bar, and he wanted somebody to come visit him. He's at the nursing home over at Northbrook, so I went over and visited with him and his wife. At the same time, Bill Crawford, anybody that stopped, he stopped in here a couple days a week. He fell and broke his hip. So I went and visited him, and then I've been over to his helping him with some equipment. Then he called me today, and I'm going to go over there this week again. And I made my monthly visit to the bumps. Now, some of these places, when I come, they always have a beer for me. I'm doing the buddy check, but I never get answers except about 2 weeks ago, a guy by the name of John Schneeder, he's a Korean War veteran, wife in a nursing home, and he wanted somebody to talk to. And my God, I must have talked to him 15, 20 minutes. I know everything in his house, how old he is, he got his driver's license renewed, and I will call him back. That's it.
Thank you so much, Leonard, for doing those calls and visiting those people. Sergeant Barnes?
Commander, it's been kind of slow as far as military honors. We did have a nice event that we were asked to present the colors at Dallas Supply Season Center. Division II National Championship Wrestling was held there, and we were glad to be part of that. It went very well. Over the course of probably the last month or so, we've had a couple new members actively helping us out now in the Guard. We have another one who's just waiting for a couple patches. So we're gradually getting a few new members, and we have new members here now. They look like they're young enough they can march in parades and everything. But if you have any interest, get in touch with me. That's all, Commander.
I like the recruiting. Keep it up. All right, historian, Jim?
So, for Deputy William Halverson, who was shot in Coggan. We're filling out the forms for him to get the Legion Officer of the Year. So we're in the process of doing that. And Dan Balmashine gave me this book from 1949, and it is The Personal Conduct for a Soldier. So they handed these out in 1949 for the soldiers on how they're supposed to act. And one of them, and I'm going to put some of these periodically into the newsletter. Some of them are pretty good. One of them, if you're a soldier and you're out on a date, and your date actually has a job, it's okay to ask her to pay for her share. It's in the book. Thank you.
All right, children and youth, Kelly?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Roger, Jake?
Commander. First of all, I'll be reporting for Dean Abrams that with Boise State. So far, we do have 2 confirmed people that will be going to Boise State, and those 2 are from Xavier. And along with that, well, we also have 1 that's on the fence from Marion. So we're hoping to have our allotted 3, and we will have to finalize the paperwork by April 1st as far as getting that completed, along with the funds that will be required. As far as baseball, FYI, the team has their first game scheduled for Monday, March 27th, and their schedule will be going through the end of April. And we close out the season then with the first weekend of May, where the state tournament will be held here on the eastern end of the state, and we will be sharing that responsibility with the Swisher Post, and those games from Swisher Post will be at Prairie High School. Right now, our games are undecided, as we were informed last week that we would not be allowed to use the Linmar Diamonds due to a liability situation. So we're looking at Prospect Meadows, and also a second diamond is available at Prairie. So we're working on that as we go forward to see where that will all take place. But again, that state tournament games will be the weekend of May 6th and May 7th, with most games being done on that Saturday. And along with that, there will be a schedule posted in the main entrance of this post building. And as far as their schedule for the short, brief season that it is, and the barkeep people will make sure that the scores get posted as I forward those on to the bar people. Scholarship, just a reminder for all you people, we do have the 3 scholarships total. The post itself does sponsor 2 $1,000 scholarships, and obviously it has to do with membership as far as your children or grandchildren being members, or you being a member, and the grandchildren or children having the availability to go ahead and obtain those applications for the 2 $1,000 scholarships. And we do have applications here at the post in hard copy. They're online, thanks to Roger Norfolk taking care of that issue. And along with that, we have 20 schools within the county of Lynn County where they are also available, and they have them posted on their school sites also. The third scholarship is a trust fund that is for Lynn County residents, as far as the students being Lynn County residents, and that does include colleges also, as far as if their real home residence is in Lynn County. It's not like they're from, we'll just say Illinois, and they're residing on campus. That does not have that opportunity for them to get the $1,600 trust fund scholarship. That's it.
Thank you.
Commander,
Yes, sir.
baseball players have also been helping out with the fish fries. They've been doing a good job with that. I'm gonna get with Jason, the director of the Riders, to see if we can't make at least one of the games as Rider.
Sounds good. Anything else? Thank you. Scouts, Andy?
Commander, the Cub Scouts had their annual Pine Box Derby races here this last week. you have to come see those if you have never seen them. They have a track and they have it lined up electronically. They put 2 cars up at a time and they start here and they go down there and they end up down there. Nobody is a loser. Everybody gets mentioned, everybody that has a car gets mentioned. So I'm just saying, if you ever, next year, want to come see it, it's really good. As far as helping, I've lined up all the help for the fish fries, but I kind of forgot I was reminded here a little while ago, we have an omelet breakfast fine, but I'll see, they'll be here, but they'll be here for the rest of the fish fries. They actually enjoy them, believe it or not. So, that's it, sir.
Thank you, Andy. Update on Sal?
Yes. Okay, thanks for waking me up. They have $8,663.43 in checking. They had a lady from an organization called Quota, and they deal with this cop with books, the officer that stays in the schools, and Officer Davis was here. They donated. I've got down $2,000, the same as last year, to his organization. It's actually Cedar Rapids, but they donated to Marion. And they figured, okay, that's fine. It's going to loosen up money elsewhere for other things. They virtually bought all the books for the Marion school. They're switching Tuesday nights with the auxiliary. The Sal will be taking the 3rd Tuesday night. And other donations, $440 to the Marion Baseball League and $200 to the Marion 13U Baseball League. Main meeting will all be an off-site meeting. And they discussed sending Pete representatives, 2nd District. That's about what I got.
Thank you. Riders?
The riders currently have $3,241.86 in their checking account. And this coming Saturday, we've coordinated a trip to the Iowa Veterans Home to visit with the veterans. They're expecting us there at about 12:30. We'll help with bingo, and then it sounds like they'll separate us, and one group will set up in a day room, and the other will go to the memory assistance unit. I've got them talked up to let us have 20 people show up, and right now I've got 9 confirmed and 2 possibles. There are 2 auxiliary members, 1 son, and the rest are Legionnaires. Since the riders are putting it together, we're going to wear our vests up. We're going to take our Legion caps, and I've asked the executive secretary to let us meet with the new post that's there at the Veterans Home. They just sponsored the 3rd District Conference at the Iowa Veterans Home last weekend, which is pretty amazing. What I'd like to do is offer you all the opportunity, if you'd like to donate to their canteen fund, to give me whatever you may want to be able to pass along to them. What the canteen fund is, they can go down to their little PX Lite thing if they need some shaving cream or some soap or whatever sundries they have there. I am of the understanding, Jason said that the executive board just are going to donate $500 to it. The riders will decide Saturday morning how much we'll give to it if you'd like to add to that. It's a way we can reach out and help those veterans that are there in that environment. Also, on the 4th of April, the riders will be running the Tuesday night meal. We're going to have a loose meat sandwich. And the last thing is not quite the riders. We're going to have a military ball on the 4th of November. This will be a first for our post. Currently, we've got about 8 members on the committee. We're excited about the ideas we're pushing around. We have a post that I was originally from that has done it twice and pulled it off, and we think we can do it with a little bit of class and style, and it'll be a good time. If you want to ask some questions, Mike's on the committee, Jerry's on the committee, Jason's on the committee. I'm going to call you Joshua, but there's many of us here that are involved. If you'd like to ask any questions about that, please just let us know. Any questions of me? Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Alrighty, unfinished business or old business? Some of the things that were brought up last month that we talked about, I got too many papers, I'm sorry. We got some information about the baseball game that we're going to do in Dyersville. So we have a set date of September 9th for that. As we get a little bit closer, we'll start to figure out some more information regarding that event, as far as what we're going to meet up, what we're going to do. But I spoke with the commander up there in Dyersville, and as of right now, some of the thoughts are we're going to have a nice barbecue. We're going to obviously be able to play a couple softball games that we're thinking about 2 to 3 hours on the field itself. This is the Field of Dreams that we're talking about, so 2 to 3 hours on the Field of Dreams. So if we can take as many people as we would like, we can create multiple teams out of it. The whole point is to go up there and beat up on Dyersville, okay? So that's to have a good time as an American Legion Post, but also we're going to win against Dyersville. So as that gets a little bit closer, we get some more information about that. I'll release that. We'll figure out how we're going to do a sign up, and we'll also figure out maybe if multiple groups of people want to go, we can save transport. If we want to group up and drive together. I'm imagining that some of the riders are going to ride up, so we can get a cool little ride up there and figure out something what we want to do with that. That's all the old business I have. Oh, I'm sorry. The May 20th was set in stone for the open house. Remember, this open house event is going to be an event that we put on. We do some we recognize some individuals from our community that are going to be joining, some sort of armed forces out of Marion. So we'll be recognizing them with a certificate. Sal will be giving away some of their money, stuff like that during that event. So we'll be presenting as well some 50-year anniversary plaques, some other stuff like that we'll do at that event. We'll have face painting. Just scheduled the balloon clown, so they'll be here, and then we'll get a bouncy house again. And I'm in talks with Hy-Vee about getting them to cater again with hot dogs and hamburgers. They took care of it all last time. It was a really good price, so we'll go back to them and try to get that scheduled again. But that's all the old business. Does anybody else have any other old business?
Commander, if you would please.
Yes, sir.
I actually work at the Hy-Vee store.
Yep.
I'll be happy to serve as the emissary for the post.
Very good. Can you get with me after? I'm trying to remember. I got it in my email. The gentleman I worked with last time, he's the PR person over there at the post, or at the Hy-Vee. So I'll get with you, and then we can talk about that if you don't mind. I'll get your name and number.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else got anything else? All right, new business. The first piece of new business, this is March. We will, because it is March, we start the nomination process for positions here at the American Legion. We posted in the March newsletter, if you received the March newsletter, we posted every single position that's going to be available for this year. We posted what the requirements through our bylaws are for each of those positions. If you have questions about any of those, now would be the time before we start calling for nominations to ask about any particular position that we have available here at the Legion. Yes, Mike Barron, you got a question?
Yeah, I just want to let the people know what the finance officer does, because it's not covered in the bylaws.
Well, no, I did that on purpose.
Yeah, you always do. What it involves is not just paying bills. It's updating the checkbook every month, every year. Right now, I'm in the process of preparing our taxes. That is included. I pay all the licensing, and you have to keep your eyes on that because you have to know when they expire and when to get them in order, because you can shut down the bar really. Also, all the precentennial notes from the Secretary of State, I do those. And there are a number of other things, finding the proper vendors for us, as long as it isn't always about the price, it's about the quality. And that's important. And we know that from our fish fries and stuff, by having quality stuff to get the people in. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's other things that fall into place. Those are the things I think of right off the bat.
Thank you, Mike. So it was documented in Section 5, duties of the finance officer, but thank you for going in depth a little bit further on that. It'd be my vision and something that I would like to do if somebody was interested in those roles and our current two that we're running would get reelected, is I'd like to kind of bring that into a role where you kind of come underneath their wing and take some of those duties off and learn those duties. It's better to do it that way than the alternate, which is just take it over flat and run with it. You know, we've had those issues in the past, and if we can not have that happen again, that would be great. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? All right, very good. Does anybody want to talk about any other of the roles, responsibilities before we do this first one? Next month, I will have all the roles listed out on the back table back there if anybody has questions, and I'll be here a little bit early before the meeting. We can discuss those roles. So we're going to do our first call for nominations for the officers of 2023 and 2024. First nomination of officers is going to be for commander. Roger?
I nominate Robert to do it again.
At this time, I would like to decline that. Any other nominations? Let's call 3 times? Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'll just call it once, right? Okay. All right, first vice commander. First vice commander. Main goal of first vice commander is membership. Most important here at our post.
I nominate Mike C.
For first vice?
Why not?
Mike, are you interested? No. Mike declines. Anybody else?
We should nominate George because he ain't here.
No can do.
Maybe that's why he's not here.
Alrighty, moving to second vice commander. Second vice commander.
I nominate Mike Cleveland.
I second and third that. Mike? Thank you, Mike. Alright, any other nominations for second vice commander? We can nominate multiple people. Any other? Adjutant.
Whoever's willing to take it over, you only have to do the minutes and take the minutes up here. I'll do everything in the office and I'll teach you that.
So Ron has came forward and had a conversation with me about wanting to take a step back from this particular role. So I would like to see somebody who's interested in doing that or has experience doing that in the past possibly step up to do it. Any nominations?
Under the age of 50?
No.
Age is just a number.
Bob?
Right, Leonard?
Bob? You interested?
I'll do it.
What's your last name, Rob?
Steinbach.
Rob.
Rob,
Steinbach.
Steinbach. You came on the right day, Rob. Anybody else for adjutant? Finance officer. Finance officer.
Commander,
Yes, sir.
I recommend Mike
Mike
Barron.
Barrett. That's a good call. Mike Barrett?
Yeah.
Would you be interested?
Yeah. My truck isn't paid off.
Terrible joke, Mike. Anybody else for finance officer? Once again, this could be this. I'd like to make this into a role where it's somebody we're transitioning to help out with this. So would anybody be interested in learning with Mike, or not learning with Mike, learning from Mike?
I'd like to point out something. If somebody else wants to be nominated for this and is on the ballot, according to the bylaws, that person will be the finance officer, and I have to back out.
You are correct. Anybody else for finance officer? Chaplain. First call for chaplain.
Jerry.
Jerry Cleveland. Are you interested in chaplain?
Take that as a yes.
No? Okay. Yes.
I'd like to nominate Kelly Jorgensen.
Kelly, you interested?
Yes.
All right. Anybody else for chaplain?
That was divine intervention.
From a Presbyterian point of view.
All right, historian. Oh, sorry.
I nominate. I'm Mike Gilmore, if you would put me there as the chaplain. I've only been an ordained minister now for 48 years, so I think I may qualify.
Well, I've only been a Christian for 52
Mike
years.
Gilmore.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. All right, and you, historian now, historian.
Nominate Jim.
Jim, are you interested, Jim?
Yes.
Any other historian nominations? Sergeant of Arms.
Dan Palmershine.
Don Palmershine. I second that.
Dan, are you interested?
Yeah, I will.
Any other Sergeant of Arms? Service Officer.
I nominate the beer guy.
Leonard, are you interested? Are you interested, sir?
Talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, if I lived that long.
Just getting more beer, you won't tell the difference.
Anybody else for service officer? I need 4 for the executive board. 4 for the executive board. Big thing about the executive board here is it's a role where I want somebody to come in and give ideas on how to improve our American Legion. You know, it's one of those roles that, you know, I'd like to get more input and information from. Anybody interested in the executive board? Anybody
Nominate
interested?
Roger Norfolk.
Roger,
I'm going to decline. I was on it 11 years.
you declining at this
I'm
time?
declining.
Okay, I nominate Shelby Ross.
Shelby, are you interested?
Yes.
I nominate Andy Schmidt.
Hold one. Andy Schmidt? Andy, are you interested?
Not really.
But will you do
That
it?
wasn't a no.
I've been on that before, but yeah, I'll do it. That sounded real enthusiastic.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
did.
Sir?
Yes, I'll do it. Rob Steinbeck.
Rob, are you interested?
Sure.
Just know at Ashley, you'll be on it already, so,
Oh,
yeah.
you both? No.
No, I prefer not to.
Okay.
Yep.
We got one over here.
Can't think of your name, but
That's Pete?
Yep.
Pete. What's your last name, Pete?
Furby.
Spell that for me?
P-E-R-B as in Victor, I.
Thank you. Kelly?
Yep.
Are you interested, Kelly?
Sure.
There's gonna be a vote on it.
Party for you.
Kelly.
She's.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Nominate John Radigan.
John Radigan.
Yeah, I've been on it.
Oh, we didn't ask if you've been on it before. Are you interested?
It was so
Yes, no answer, John.
Anybody else? Okay. Veterans Club Committee. We need 3 for the Veteran Club Committee.
Do we know who's coming off?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Damon Meyer, Shane Schaefer, and Dave Glenn.
Coming off? No, they're not.
No, they're staying.
You got that back?
Okay, I got this back.
Jerry Cleveland.
Al Windenberg and Bob Lechty.
Yes.
Stegan
I
still on
nominate
it?
Jerry Cleveland.
Jerry Cleveland, are you interested?
Yes. Gee, I didn't have to think about that.
No, you did not.
I nominate Al.
I'm interested in the unit.
What's your name?
Jim Bruce.
Jim Bruce. And you said Bernie, you interested?
Yep. Is he? Okay.
And I have Bob's proxy.
No. Tell Bob to show up next month and we'll get Bob, okay? All right, anybody else for the bar committee? Alrighty, building and ground. Do you have that one right?
I'm still not sure after talking to Danny. Hey, Danny?
Hey, what?
Let me know again who's coming off. It was confusing back there. Gary Pfeiffer? Oh.
Mike Barron, Steve Lewinsky, John Radigan, and Leonard Olson are coming off.
Should be.
4 or 5?
5.
5?
Write them down.
No,
Count
only had 3 X's, I'm sorry. Okay, building and ground.
I nominate Denny.
Danny, are you interested?
them. Who said that? Give me a month or 2 to think about it.
Okie dokie. Anybody else?
Nominate Leonard.
Leonard, you interested?
If Denny is, I am.
Okay, we'll cross next month then. Anybody else? Buildings and grounds.
Anyone that was Johnson.
Gary, are you still on?
You're still on?
You're still on it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you, Ron, Bob, Jim, and Darwin, right?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. So we will do the second call nominations next month. Same process, we'll go through. It'll be posted in new business. Good of the Legion correspondence. So last month, we had a conversation, Mike Etzel brought it up, about the Vietnam War, the lapel pin. Does everybody remember having that conversation? Alright, so we have a brief video that we're going to play. After we play the video, we're going to call up the veterans who signed up for the pin, and we will present that pin. Yep.
I'll be right with you. Still flashing.
I think so. I had one.
The Vietnam War was ended by President Nixon, and hundreds of prisoners of war came home after years of brutal captivity.
That's a G.
Through their prison walls, they tapped letters to each other, or God bless you, and came away with lessons about what courage is. What is it?
Courage is fear that has said its prayers. Courage is not always the end of the fight. Courage is a process.
Everett Alvarez was the first American shot down in Vietnam. He was beaten and tortured. How long did you spend in captivity?
A total of 8.5 years. We had a code. It was return with honor. Our dignity, our reputation, our character. That brought us through.
John Borling was locked up with him in what became known as the Hanoi Hilton. They were both tortured.
We maintained that we wouldn't give anything for free. So the thing was, do the best you can, make them hurt you and hurt you bad, and then bend but don't break. A lot of people only have 5 or 6 friends that they can really count on in a tough situation. But we had 300 friends that we knew would take not just death for each other, but torture for each other. Torture is much harder to take than death.
Those are the last known American prisoners of war. That part of the Vietnam tragedy is over.
It was 1973. 590 American POWs were finally coming home.
Colonel Ellis, who says they got on a plane, he was handed a big cigar and hugged a nurse.
We had not seen a woman in 5.5 years. Can you imagine that?
Got down to the stairs and stopped at the top.
And Captain Gruders, who seemed so salute on the flight home soared in the dance of joy at the sight of his little brother all grown up.
The son of a gun is stronger than I am. And then these wild rumors started circulating that there was going to be a dinner at the White House.
Here in this tent on the back lawn of the White House, more than 1,200 people will dine with the Nixons. A giant tent was installed on the South Lawn. President Nixon invited every Vietnam POW. It remains the largest dinner ever held at the White House.
Never has the White House been more proud than it is tonight because of the guests we have tonight. It was huge.
Lots of celebrities.
Lots of celebrities.
Who did you see?
Well, I sat with John Wayne at our table, and I thought, oh, man, this is it. I'm sitting with my hero. You know, President Nixon made us feel like we were the stars.
Robert Surton spent three months in a North Vietnamese prison with Al Agnew.
So he brought us home. He ended the war. President Nixon is one of our heroes.
In a more serious moment, every POW met the president. You had a moment with the president. What did you say to him? What did he say to you?
He said something really interesting. He said, I tried. I really tried.
Did that mean he tried to get you home?
He tried to get us home. There's no diminution of our affection for Richard Nixon. For us, he was the guy that stuck with us.
In 1973, President Nixon saluted nearly 600 American troops. They had been held as prisoners of war in Vietnam. After their release, they were treated to an unforgettable celebration. And now, 40 years later, many of those former POWs are reuniting.
Former POWs from the Vietnam War gathered today for a reunion at the Richard Nixon Presidential Library in California. They spent years in North Vietnamese prisons and were finally released in 1973.
There was an emotional reunion taking place in the Richard Nixon Library. Hundreds of former POWs from the Vietnam War gathering to commemorate a star-studded dinner that took place at the White House 40 years ago.
The reunion happened today in Southern California at the Richard Nixon Presidential Library.
This was a very special day with a lot of historical context, as you'll see in a moment. These POWs came from all over the country to be here today, and many more people came out to salute them. It was a hero's welcome that these heroes were worthy of.
I saw the people holding the flag, I said, I get goosebumps.
Slowed by time, their numbers dwindled. So many reuniting at the Nixon Library were compelled to rewarding lives by their rescue 40 years ago. They never lost their bond with each other. The president, as controversial as the war itself, negotiated their freedom on the way to ending their war. Following 7 years in a Hanoi prison, Chuck Boyd went on to earn 4 stars as an Air Force general. Mr. Nixon, this week, he and nearly a third of the 591 POWs granted the unexpected gift of freedom 4 decades ago were invited to remember how it tasted, how their loved ones rejoiced at their release. How unbelievable it felt to leave their prison hellhole alive.
I'm really a sucker for these. Last night I was at a salute to freedom on the Intrepid. Check this out, this emotional celebration of service. We can't thank them enough. It's at the Richard Nixon Presidential Library this Memorial Day weekend. There are hundreds of former POWs from Vietnam, all gathering to commemorate a star-studded dinner party thrown at the White House 40 years ago. I think it's time. William Lajeunesse, live at the Nixon Library in Yorba Linda, California. So glad to hear this is happening, William.
You know, Jamie, that was the largest dinner ever held at the White House, and we were looking at some 1,300 people. Well, in just a few hours, about 200 of those POWs who were starved, beaten, and bound in North North Vietnam will commemorate that dinner held in their honor by then President Nixon, May 24th, 1973.
McDaniel, along with 2 other Vietnam POWs, took a sneak peek at the venue for tonight's dinner that's designed to replicate the dinner back in 1973. Each table, plate, and glass brought back memories of that reunion dinner hosted by President Nixon.
He came over to the table and we stood up and he put his arms around me and my sister and said, the first sister again. That was very meaningful.
I'm looking forward to it, my wife is looking forward to it, and we got our camera.
I was in table D.
It was entertainer Sammy Davis Jr.'s idea to have a big celebration.
He said, you guys want to make a party for that. So when you have all the people at the White House there.
With nearly 1,300 guests, it was the largest ever White House dinner. A huge tent covered the South Lawn. Bob Hope was master of ceremonies. John Wayne spoke. The heroes also were given unusual access inside the house.
One of us said, we're supposed to in this door. I don't know. I opened the door. It was President Nixon's estate. And he was sitting behind the desk. We walked in and, oh my God. And he said, it's okay, boys. That's all right. We'll be down there tonight. You just go right ahead. And, we're just, oh my God, we walked down the president,
For many, the highlight of the evening was the singing of God Bless America, led by the man who wrote the tune, Irving Berlin.
My wife talks about that to this day. She was standing there just tears falling on her face.
God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her.
These decorated veterans, Vietnam POWs, many of them former pilots, reunited tonight wearing the same uniforms they wore the evening of May 24th, 1973. Described as a magical night, a special dinner and celebration at the South Lawn of the White House with President Richard Nixon and his wife Pat.
It rained all day and it was wet everywhere, but it was also not a dry eye in the house.
Running the date occasions of the Nixon residency.
Back then and today, these heroes are honored for their courage and endurance, surviving years of captivity and torture by the enemy.
I remember their honor, their courage, their commitment to our country.
On this night, Tricia Nixon Cox did the honors.
You never lost faith in America, and my father never lost faith in you.
In prison, they wrote down songs about America on toilet paper. They hid it from the Vietnamese. And 40 years ago, they sang one of them, written in prison. It is called the POW Prayer, about honor and freedom, freedom and home.
At the dinner 40 years ago, the POW choir sang a hymn one soldier wrote during captivity. 4 decades older and unrehearsed, choir members sang the words they learned long ago when they were far from hope and far from home.
Foreign prison walls.
So when we started to have this conversation last month, a couple folks brought up this video, and I thought it would be a really nice video to play. So I appreciate those folks doing that. I'm going to call Mike Etzel up. Mike Etzel,
Tell Robert, help you.
to your floor.
Okay. Use this for a second. Let me just do a quick setup. This, for those that have never had this backstory on this, this is a Department of Defense commemoration. It, per an act of Congress, is what this is for the eligibility, I'll put it this way. And for some reason, they want you to be living United States veterans who served on active duty in the U.S. Armed Forces at any time during the period from November 1, 55 to May 15 of 75. Regardless of location, are eligible to receive one lapel pin. In English, that means, and do not take this to the VA and say, wait, they said the Vietnam War. This is a Vietnam War commemoration. So if you served on active duty from 1955 to 1975, the November to May, if you were in Germany, I defended Kaneohe Bay in Hawaii down to the last little grain of sand and did my job. You did not have to be in country. That's the caveat. This is not a in-country award or commemoration. So, is what I would ask, if you have not received one of these pins, and you said some people have signed up, so you people know who you are. But as long as you have not received one, and I'm not worried, I got enough if you didn't know about this and you are eligible and have not received a pin, come on up. And
Okay, why don't we start a line back over here? If you want to receive one, why don't you start a line here, and then we'll start working people through. So
mine, I wear it on my cover. You can put it on your lapel of your coat.
Jim, don't stand in front of my camera if you would be. Thank you very much. Your butt's okay, I guess, but
I'll stand over there. I want to take a picture of the line.
I'm going to stand here and get on these ones as they come through.
Okay.
to be lucky number one, is that right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking for it. Turn your butt around. There you go. Yeah, turn around. I was born.
You don't think we got one? Well, we don't know, so it's what I'm going to give. You're going to get, Ron, would you trying to, it's basically, I want one of each. One of each. Okay, so you're also getting a signed presidential proclamation. So, Ron? Thank you. Congratulations. Oh, all right. There's those. And there's your lapel pin. Well, thank you. Thank you. And yeah, pictures, because I am required.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. To send back, this is a DOD program, and I have to do an after-action report. It's how they document what we did. So, and that. Thank you.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service, Mike.
After the meeting, if you would all meet in front of the flag for that one Mike needs to send in. Everybody getting a pin? After the meeting, please meet up in front of the big flag.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
2025, November 11th, so we've got about 18 months round numbers. And if you know anyone or come across somebody who needs another one, we can do this
impromptu, we probably should do it in a year, catch up to last.
We could do it.
Oh, we could. Something we need to do.
Oh, we got Just a reminder, anybody who got a pin, please meet at the big American flag as soon as the meeting's over so we can get a nice picture for the newsletter. All right, any other good of the Legion or correspondence?
Got one thing, Dan Farmersheim handed me this. So thank you. Post 298, thank you for your posting the colors at the Marion home football games this season. If it's not an honor and a privilege to have this ceremony. Thank you for your service. Mike Anderson.
All right, thank you. Yes, sir.
Couple quick things, Commander.
Sure.
March 28th, 6:30 here at Marion will be the Lynn County American Legion meeting. Open to anybody who wants to come. We hope you'll come. One of the highlights, of course, will be nomination of officers for next year. Don't let that scare you. So come on out. We've got some business to do, and we'd be glad to see everybody. It'll be 6:30, March 28th, right here. And let you know, we're planning on the car show, the post-car show again, June 25th. That's a Sunday. We'll have the official time for you a little bit later. We have a committee meeting coming up on April 3rd. So that's it. Thank you, Commander.
Thank you, Dick. Any other correspondence? Is there any further business to come before this meeting? If not, the chaplain will lead us in prayer. Oh, I apologize. Thank you. Raffle. Yes.
That's what I was gonna do.
I was just trying to pray to win. I never won before.
Okay, listen up. We have 3 drawings tonight. The first one is for $44 and the last 2 are for $100.
Whoa. Real honest face here.
You don't know her. Draw me.
These tickets right now. And if you draw your own, you gotta give me. 338.
Hey, that's me.
Hey!
338. 338. Got it.
Danny, I'll say it really slow.
You had it upside down.
Yeah.
Okay, for $100. You draw your own?
Yeah. Look at that, 939. Oh, no, it's good. 330.
407. 407.
Yeah, it's.
That's the ticket number, not your age.
Andy left. Are you sure?
Andy will have an open bar tonight.
I always do. All right. You won last week. Have a drink, Andy.
You like Bob Leonard? Oh. Call it again.
Andy,
All right, you're gonna draw.
water's $1 a bottle.
What if I draw my own?
I'll kick your ass.
Okay.
422.
Oh.
You guys be buying all night?
I was on.
I gotta redo this.
30 and I didn't.
Is there any further business to come before the meeting? If not, the chaplain will lead us in prayer. Uncover. Chaplain.
And I'm so excited there are other people that want to do this job.
Amen.
Okay, no, that wasn't it, though. And now, dear Heavenly Father, as we go our separate ways, we ask you to help us and guide us through all the coming days. Be with us and safely lead us down the service road. We thank you for your loving care. It will help lighten our load. We thank you for your blessings. Go with us as we part. See each one home safely and lighten every heart. Amen.
Amen.
Cover. Till we meet again, let us remember that our obligation to our country can be fulfilled only by the faithful performance of the duties of citizenship. Let service to the community, state, and nation be ever a main objective of the American Legion and its members. Let us be ever watchful of the honor of our country, our organization, and ourselves, that nothing shall swerve us from the path of justice, freedom, and democracy. The Color Guard will now retrieve the POW, MIA, and missing comrade flags. The Color Guard will now retrieve the colors. And salute. Two. I now declare this meeting of the Marion Post 298, the American Legion, Department of Iowa, adjourned.